What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mike Zuniga Films. Now, this footage that you're about to see was taken last year, before this whole situation we got into as a world. So don't worry, that's why you'll see people without masks and stuff like that. I compiled footage from last year, having more free time on my hands and whatnot, and I wanted to create a video showing my travel. So basically this was a travel film shoot, and this was for GoDaddy. First stop was Miami, and from there we went on to San Francisco. This was, I would say, more focused on guerrilla filmmaking, freelancers. If you're a one-man band type of filmmaker, then this will be helpful for you. And even if you're working with a crew, this will be helpful for you, because I'm going to be sharing with you what I learned, how I set up my gear, and more tips and tricks, and you'll maybe see a celebrity in there. So with that being said, let's go head to Miami. All right, so touchdown in Miami, and I have to say that Miami, it feels like a whole different country. It doesn't feel like it's part of the US. It has that Caribbean vibe to it, and it's awesome. I absolutely love it. So we got to try some cool food. Went to an Argentine restaurant. I guess one of the top picks with DJ Khaled.
Another one.
And got to try some skirt steak, which was delicious. We also went to another seafood restaurant there, and the seafood is great as well. So I highly recommend it. If you're there in Miami, try the food, especially the seafood. So the next morning, hopped in the Uber, went to the studio, and started filming. Okay, so in the week leading up to Miami, the first important thing that I should mention is to prep. And that means making sure you're getting all the gear ready and set in the bags that you're gonna carry. With me, I brought hard cases within my luggage, so obviously when traveling, you wanna make sure that your gear is protected. I also brought extra backup gear with me. So for example, batteries. I like to have rechargeable batteries with me. These are double AAA batteries, whatever I'm gonna be using. I make sure they're rechargeable, because that way I bring less, but I can charge them, after every shoot. Now, next thing is mics, because I knew during this shoot I'm gonna be doing interviews. So I wanna bring at least two mics. One is a wireless mic, and then the other one is my Zoom H1 mic, which is more portable. On top of that, I also brought a shotgun mic just in case, but I knew I wasn't really gonna be using that. And then I brought two cameras, two Sony a7 III cameras. The reason why is because if I just brought one camera and for some reason that broke down, then I'm just, stuck there. Time is money, and if you're filming for a client and we're in a short window of filming, you wanna make sure that you're prepared. On top of the camera itself, I also brought lights. I highly recommend LED lights. I have 3 LED aperture lights. There's also another brand, GVM, that I highly recommend as well. These are great because you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the temperature of them if you need to, and these are very portable, right? So for an interview setting, you can move them around any which way. I also brought soft boxes as well for those lights. You can fold them and whatnot. I put all my gear together, made sure I was prepped. I was gonna be using my gimbal, my Zhiyun Crane 2 gimbal, and I brought a tripod, actually 2 tripods, just to be safe. The whole goal of this shoot in Miami was to highlight an artist, and this was in her studio. So obviously showing how she works and showing the studio off and showing her artwork as well. One of the things to keep in mind is when you first get to a location, now I only was able to see bits and pieces of the studio itself, but when I was actually there, I walked around with the artist, met with her, and got a feel for how she was. And I also spoke to the client as well, and we went over what types of shots they were looking for. Keep in mind what the video is going to be used for. So my role was to film, not necessarily edit. They were going to edit through their team. Knowing that they were going to be using it for social, then I made sure to shoot a little bit more wide shots, keeping in mind that they can resize it for square and vertical. If I were to shoot majority like close-up shots, then that's going to be harder for them. So I just kept that in mind. For me, what I did was I got some wide shots of the studio, I got some medium shots of the artist working with her art, interacting with her team, and also some close-up shots. Maybe, for example, like her hand, fixing the flowers, her eyes, things like that. And also too, with my gimbal as well, creating some sliding shots with it, doing some push-in, doing some tracking shots, because that adds a lot more to a video itself instead of just static shots. Now, when it came to directing the talent, if you are the filmmaker, you're also going to have to be the director. What that means is don't be afraid to tell the talent what you want in terms of how they're gonna pose. Now, for me, what helps is actually showing the talent. All right, you're gonna be in this position, smile, things like that, right? I highly recommend that you over communicate, meaning be totally clear. Even if you have to tell them exactly, to like the exact movement that you want, don't assume they know how to pose. Tell them, let them know, because it makes their job easier as well. Also too, be patient. If you're working with talent that is not comfortable or used to being in front of the camera, be patient with them. Make sure to get into conversation with them and just talk to them even before, like, let's say, for example, if you were about to film an interview, it's good to have some small talk. So for example, with this artist, I talked to them about their certain pieces of artwork and how they got inspired to do that. Things like that will ease them and ease their worries and let them get comfortable in front of the camera. Now, I haven't been to San Francisco since I was maybe 10 years old, and I vaguely remember it, but this was gonna be a cool trip because I was looking forward to it, and I wanted to, see what San Francisco was all about now that I'm older. This whole shoot in San Francisco was going to be slightly different. This was an event that GoDaddy was putting together for the launch of a new product. And the goal of this shoot was to get the behind the scenes of the event itself. And this not only included B-roll shots, but also interviews. Now, this is going to be different from the Miami shoot because we are going to be interviewing a lot more people. This includes the CEO, celebrities, and the audience as well. Knowing this, I knew this was going to be a lot more on the go filming, meaning less setting up and more just on the spot filming, and you want to make sure that you're prepared for anything that can happen. The biggest point that I want to make for this shoot was being able to adapt to different situations. On this shoot, I was able to luckily be with my friend Tam, who is a fellow filmmaker of mine and fellow friend, and I was like, great, this is gonna be cool. I'm filming my friend Tam and we're gonna get some cool shots. Knowing that, I talked to him before this trip and we just went over what the game plan was, as well as speaking with the client, GoDaddy too, and knowing what the game plan was. So now that we're on the same page, we coordinated, all right, you'll bring this, I'll bring this in terms of gear, knowing that we are gonna need more backup in terms of batteries and things like that. First day we got to San Francisco, got to the hotel, got ready, got set. I met with Tam and the team and we went over gear and things like that. Now day 2 was the first day of the event. This was basically showing the setup of the event. Construction crews putting up posters, rehearsals, and things like that. The first day there wasn't any interviews. Pretty much it was just focusing on the setup. The cool thing was Aisha Curry, she was part of the GoDaddy team. We filmed her doing her prep and things like that, so that was pretty cool. And my whole focus was to just mix up the shots, get some close-up shots, get some panning shots, sliding shots, medium shots, and wide shots of the whole venue itself. Now, day 2 was a different story. That was the actual event day. Things got hectic, right? Now, when things got hectic, I mean, you know, you're on the go, right? So we already had a schedule for that day. You know, at this time period, we're gonna be filming the CEO. This time period, you're gonna be filming Aisha. This time period, you're gonna be filming an influencer and getting some interviews with guests. The main goal was to film B-roll. And then after that, when a time period hit for the interviews, then we had to go and coordinate with the talent or whoever we were filming, right? So this was a team effort. This had to include communication and things like that. Now, there was times when communication kind of got lost, but we fixed those early on, and we made sure, you know, the key was to adapt to the situation, not getting frustrated when things didn't go our way, because there's gonna be times when you're doing a film shoot and things are not gonna go your way. The last thing you want is to get frustrated. The best thing to do is you wanna be a problem solver. You wanna make sure that you're able to find ways to fix a problem, to get around things, to accomplish and solve that, and to find a solution. You want to be a help for someone, and the way to be a help for the team is just to be prepared. Now, the cool thing was Aisha brought out her husband, Stephen Curry, who is star for the Warriors, and that was pretty cool. I got to film him, but he had to head out right away because he had other obligations, because I'm sure he's busy. But that was probably one of the highlights for that day of filming. But I would have to say that this film shoot was probably the best example of guerrilla filmmaking. You have to think on your feet. You have to be able to be a problem solver and find solutions, and you have to be a clear communicator to those that you're working with. And I found that, you know, there was times when, you know, we faced problems, but we worked well as a team. Me and Tam, the team members of GoDaddy, and working with, you know, the talent and things like that. So that was San Francisco, and it was great. The weather was great, 70 degrees out on the bay, and couldn't ask for anything better. And I think, looking back now, that was a successful shoot, even though it was really chaotic and we were running around a lot, going from interview to interview. Thank you to the GoDaddy team for another great shoot. And thank you, Tam, and all those that were there for making it great as well. Last final points to keep in mind, you know, be prepared for anything that may happen, because you can't go back once you are out there in location. You know, you want to have the necessary gear they have. Even though you may not use it, you will have the peace of mind that you have it in your back pocket. Be able to adapt. Be flexible to any situation that you're out there. You know, you're most likely a one-man band, you know, and you want to be able to hold your own. Be adaptive to any situation. And second thing, be a problem solver. Instead of being someone that complains or, you know, isn't willing to help out, be willing to find the solution to make that shot look great. And then final thing, be a clear communicator. Over communicate if you need to. Don't be afraid to direct the talent, no matter how high caliber they are. You know, whether they are, you know, someone that hasn't been on camera, isn't used to speaking on camera, or whether it's a celebrity. Treat them the same, with respect, being concise, and being clear in terms of your communication. Be professional. That's another thing I would add. Be professional, because if you are professional and if you are reliable as a filmmaker, you will be called back to more shoots consistently, and that's what you want. So with that being said, thanks for watching this video. And if you want to learn more about how to create cool videos, cool video content, awesome video content for yourself, I created a free course that you can get down below in the description. And within the course, I show you how to shoot awesome video with your smartphone, how to edit the videos, how to speak like a pro on camera, and so much more. So if you're interested in creating awesome video content for yourself, click the link down below in the description and look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.